Right, so now when we look at this one, we can see what we've seen in the other units, which is the 8mm glass throughout the whole construction of the unit. Even the short, small spans, like this piece of glass here, is 8mm thick glass. Now, any other manufacturer in the world, they will calculate the thickness of the glass by the span of the glass. So normally this would be 6mm at very best. Everything in the construction of this unit is 8mm glass. The reason that it is 8mm glass is obviously the strength that is gained by making it 8mm glass, but far more important than that is the temperature that this can be tempered at, because it's toughened glass. And more importantly, if you actually feel the surface of that glass, it's got that kind of oily texture to it. Yeah. Now you will also feel that on your car windscreen. So on your car windscreen, nothing really sticks to it, does it? Dirt doesn't get ground into the windscreen. It's always easy to clean it off. Whereas other things where you have glass, such as your shower or your double glazing on your house, sometimes the dirt's actually in there and you need a scourer to get it off. It's hard to remove the dirt. That's all because of the surface quality of the glass. If you look at the glass under a microscope, all glass, it's like this. Lime scale, soap gets inside these pores, and that's what makes it difficult to clean. This glass, all of the glass within this unit and all of the units that we do in this range of steam shower has a very, very fine polished surface, which means that it's very easy to clean. If we now look at the construction of it, so main frame all around here, you'll see that this is aluminium. It's kind of like a polished aluminium. What this actually is anodized. Anodized is electric plating. What that means is it can never oxidize. Unlike powder coating can oxidize. So even inside the aluminium, once you've covered it with a painted surface, powder coating, if the aluminium has already started to oxidize prior to the paint application, at some point that oxidization will come out of the paint, and once it comes out of the paint, you further expose the aluminium to further oxidization, so it becomes corrosion. This is electric plated, it's anodized. This will stay looking like this forever. Not for the next 5 years, this will always look like this. And obviously it's very well protected against chemicals, cleaning products and cleaning agents, although we would always recommend that you don't use anything with bleach on anything in here, because bleach is just a disaster. Jif, all of these kinds of bathroom products all contain it. The best thing you could ever do is create your own solution, tip the Jif out, put washing up liquid in, fill it with water and use it as a spray. And that will also leave a residue on everything you're cleaning. It's more anti-smear on glass than probably any other product on the market today. And it'll cost you next to nothing. 4p a bottle as opposed to £2 a bottle. Right, so what we've got with this unit is 2-person sauna, 2-person, if we want to, steam shower and a shower. We have here on the thermostatic mixer a safety device whereby up to 38 degrees you can turn it to that temperature. If you want to go higher, press the button and then it will allow you to go to a higher temperature. Obviously the reason for this is a safety device. We wouldn't want children or anybody inexperienced or unfamiliar with the unit to be pressing or turning this to a temperature that was unsuitable for them. We then have this one here, which is our pressure regulator or water volume. So when we come in, initially what we're going to do is select what type of shower we want to have. This one here is our overhead drencher, fantastic. Shower all the way around, water all over us, and it's really a lovely effect. You know, you have no chill like you would on a shower that's in front of you. We then also have, on an adjustable rail, a traditional hand shower. Everything you'll see again is rubber tip. This is to stop the build-up of limescale. What we can use this for is maybe we don't want to get our hair wet. So obviously with the monsoon, unless we're going to wear a shower cap, we're going to get our hair wet. So if you didn't want to wash your hair, not that I think you're going to have a problem with washing your hair, but if you didn't want to wash your hair to save them, then we could use this one, have it down here. Now the other thing, obviously without saying, is this is going to be fantastic for cleaning the unit. We then have acupuncture body jet. Now again, rubber tip to stop any build-up of limescale, so they're going to stay precision and working without blocking with limescale. We can position them wherever we want. Now this is fantastic. Let's just say we're sat on the stool and we can position these into our neck, into our back, and it's a high pressure that is acupuncture sensation, and it really does make you feel good. Now with all of the water devices, so we're going to first of all choose if we have the drencher, the hand shower or the body jets. In each instance we can also do it while we're steaming. So this can be full of steam, and we can be having an acupuncture body jet massage while we're steaming.
Simultaneously you can use it.
You can have this with the steam, but on each device, so either you're going to choose the drencher under a showering condition, or you're going to have the hand shower, or you're going to have the body jets. Now the reason for that is, one, I don't know why you'd want to have all three of them going at the same time, because that'd be a little bit crazy, right? But what would be the primary problem is that the unit restriction is going to be the water pressure, and the thing that a lot of people forget is the flow rate of the water. It doesn't matter how much pressure you have. If you've got very small pipes, you can only put so much flow rate through that pipe. If you have 3 applications on at once, then you do not have enough flow rate to enjoy that sensation. Hence, we only have 1 application on at a time. We in this unit we also have this here, which is for two purposes. We unscrew it. This is a direct link down to the steam generator, which is behind here. Now this allows us to put oils in there, essence, and it also acts if we want to put a cleaning agent in there, such as a liquid calgon that will break down limescale in the generator. Now even though the manufacturer will recommend that we need to do maintenance, personally, because of 10 years of doing this, in my experience, and I can't tell you not to do it, is that the unit is completely maintenance free. We've got customers that are steaming 3 times a day, an hour each steam session, and have been doing it for years, and without maintenance at all to the steam generator. Limescale build-up is obviously dependent on whether or not you're in a hard or soft water area. We can also put in a limescale arrestor to help prevent build-up, but the idea is we can also put in an agent to break down limescale in the generator. But really the unit is maintenance free if we're using it as a normal person would. What we can also do, like I said, is put essence in there. Now, if you put essence in there, you're stuck with that smell of the essence until it burns off from the generator. So the place we really want to be putting the essence is down in the steam outlet down here. And all we do is put, let's just say it's rose oil, and we're going to mix it with a bit of massage base oil, and we're going to put it in there, and the steam goes up around it, and it's all within the cubicle. Now the nice thing about doing this is your wife might absolutely hate rose oil, but you love it, so you can have your steam session with your essence, and then very simply use the hand shower, put some of our spray washing up liquid solution, spray it in there, clean it out, and the essence is gone. If we put it in the generator, you're stuck with it. Everything in here is, and all of the features with the electronics. We have the mood lighting, we have a wireless connection to an external music device. Now that music device can be a CD player in the lounge that will connect externally without any wires and play the music through the shower. We have, that could also be for your phone if you've got music on your phone. It could be an MP3, any wireless device. So we can put on a playlist or play a CD. The music is going to come through the shower. We can control the volume, but we can't control the track or the playlist. We also have a radio, which is a lovely feature. It has 10 preset stations in there that we program. It's an FM radio. And these two buttons here, very simply, press this one once and we can control the station. Press it twice and we're going to control the decibels. It will come up with a little thing saying dB, decibels, which is the volume. We go up and down with our volume with these arrows here. We go up and down our radio station with these arrows here, and we keep this one pressed when we've programmed the radio station, and it sets it to our preset. So everything down this side is to do with our music, and that's all. It's just our music. This one here is to turn the unit on and off. This one here sets our steam temperature. So we're going to have steam sessions, and we can control the temperature at which the unit goes up to. This one here is our steam timer. So we have not only a duration, so we can actually try and push ourselves out a little bit further, so we get the most out of having a steam. And what you'll find is, like any exercise, we're going to start off gradually and build up. We want to push ourselves a little bit further. We want to get better and stronger, fitter and healthier. And that's exactly what these two help us achieve. This one here is our ventilation fan. Now, people get confused with this, that it extracts the unit that the unit needs to be exhaust. Because of the glass, 360 degrees of glass, this unit works like a condenser unit. All of the steam and moisture is contained within the unit. It condenses back against the glass and goes down the drain. This fan will primarily be for the purpose of having a steam. So the steam outlet's down here, the heat and the steam is rising, and obviously we don't want to be cooking our heads if we're stood up and have a cooler temperature down here. So this fan, although it's very subtle and quiet, it actually works as a circulation fan for the heat within the cubicle, and it's really surprising how well it does actually work. Now, once we've got this cubicle completely full of steam and we're steaming away, we finished our steam. The first thing we're going to do after a steam is have a shower. We're soaking wet with sweat. We're not going to get out of the unit. The cubicle's full of steam. We turn the shower on, and it doesn't matter even if you turn it on hot and go cooler, or turn it on and keep it quite hot because you want to stay hot. It will dissipate the water, the flowing water will dissipate all of the moisture or the steam, or a lot of it, 90% of it, almost instantly. The other 5 or 10% of steam and moisture will condensate back against the glass. When we open the door to the cold volume of air that's already in the room, it's completely dissipated and gone. Your mirrors are completely clear and free from any steam or moisture or condensation. You can shave, do your makeup, your ceiling, your walls, completely free of moisture. This one here is for our chromotherapy mood lighting. So each time we press it, we have 2 different types of mood lighting. This one is the new style rain drencher. As you can see, each rubber tip, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 6. We've got 36 jets in each square. So we've got 4 times 36. That's a monsoon rain shower. Now, because we've got a light in each individual jet, it actually rains light through the water. So if you can imagine, you've got all your lights off in your bathroom and you've just got this on, and it's actually raining coloured light down through the water. This is really cool, eh? Now, what's just happened there is the cubicle has a timer. So even if we finished using the cubicle, we've gone and we didn't turn it off, after a set period of time, 30 minutes, the cubicle will automatically shut down to stop us from leaving it on. So this is our light button, and this bottom one here is for our steamer. So when we're going to have a steam, very simply we press the steamer will start to generate steam. Within 2 minutes we're going to see this cubicle completely filled with steam. We're then going to, or before, we're going to set our temperature that we want the steam to go up to, and we're going to set the duration of the session that we're going to have. It will reach the optimum temperature, so in this case we've set it to 54, it will go up to 54, and then as it cools down, it will then switch off the generator. It will then cool down 2 degrees, so it will go to 52 and the generator will automatically kick back in again until it reaches 54. It will continue to cycle like this until we run out of time, and then it will just shut down. So this is all of our electronics here. This is our display. This is our thermostatic mixer valve that we use to automatically mix the water temperature for us for showering, and that's out of the drencher, hand shower or acupuncture body jets. This is our pressure regulator or water volume control. So this is going to control how much water and how much pressure actually comes through the showering application. And this one here is our diverter valve, and this one will divert water either the shower head, the traditional hand shower, or the acupuncture body jets. We don't want to use them simultaneously. One, it'd be a bit crazy if you just got water going everywhere, but also you'll be reducing the flow rate and water pressure. Water pressure, the unit will work off of any type of hot water system. So a combination boiler, which will put out between 1 to 1.5 bars, will give you what we call a normal showering experience. You then might have unvented system, so a pressurized tank. That pressurized tank could either be pumped, it might be pumped to 2 bar, and in which case 2 bar will give you what we call a good showering experience. You might have a pressurized system whereby it's coming in off of the cold mains pressure, which could be taking it up, for example, to 3 bar. 3 bar is a fantastic showering experience. When you get into the realms of 4 bar, it would actually become uncomfortable. It's actually starting to hurt. If we have an unvented system, which is our traditional water tank that might be on the first floor, up in the loft, it might be an immersion tank that's heating the water, but it's a vented system. In other words, that tank's not pressurized, it's relying on gravity. Now, this type of system is going to give us a very low pressure, but we're actually in the best situation with regards to being able to do something about it. We can pressurize the system by putting on an external pump. Unlike a combination boiler, we're stuck with the pressure and the output of the combination boiler. A pump cannot be put onto the system with a combination boiler because we risk back pressure going back to the boiler and potentially blowing up the boiler. It's illegal, so we can't do that. If we've got a pressurized tank creating its own pressure, then normally it's going to be 2, 3, 4 bar, because we're working off either an internal pump within the tank or cold mains pressure going into it off of the cold main coming into your house. So if we're going to add a pump, and this is something we need to be aware of, and plumbers can get this wrong quite often, is that if the tank is just above us in the loft, our head pressure between the tank and this top drencher, if it's less than half a metre or a metre, which 9 times out of 10 it's going to be, we're going to be in what's called a negative head situation, which will require a negative head pump. If you don't have a negative head pump, you can fit the pump, but it'll intermittently work. It can't detect the drop in the water pressure, so the pump doesn't know when to start. So if we're going to go for a pump system, Salamander for example is a very good manufacturer of pumps. We're going to go for a twin propeller, which means we're going to pump the cold and the hot evenly. My recommendation would be to go for a 3 bar pump. A silent pump, think about where you're going to locate it, but it's very easy to implement it into your water system, and then you've got a fantastic shower. So the answer to your question, if you're asking it, what type of, will my hot water system work with this cubicle or any of the cubicles that we do? The answer to your question is yes. There is no restricting factor. You could even put this in the garage with an inline water heater, to heat the hot water and then have your cold feed. So you can literally have one cold feed going into the garage, tee it off, inline water heater, and then your cold water being teed off. Here, these are teak. So at the moment we've got a teak ceiling, teak shower grid, teak stool. The shower grid is optional, so we can have it or we can remove it. Now when we remove it, we can just use this as a white tray, or we keep it as a shower grid. It's nice being up out of all the dirty water. Do you see what I mean? You're suspended out of the water instead of it all, you know, you're stood in your soap and your mess and everything else. Now what you also have here is a removable trap where it's got a hair catcher in there and it'll catch any large debris. We can just take that out, clean it out, and then put it back in. The waste is connected via a flexi pipe. So very simple, it's a single connection to a standard 40 or 50 mil waste connection via the flexi. The flexi will rotate 360 degrees and it'll concertina in and out between 300 millimeters and 1.2 meters. So the plumbing is simple. Our hot and cold feeds are going to go on the back of here. From our isolation valves around the back, hot and cold isolation valves, flexi pipes of 1 meter long onto the back of this valve here. That's all of our plumbing. So that's our primary hot and cold feeds, and that's our waste connected. We're then going to connect the electrics. The electrics on this particular unit, this is 3 kilowatt steam generator. We can do 4.2 kilowatt or 6 kilowatt. 6 kilowatts too much for this size unit, it's completely unnecessary. 4.2 kilowatt you might want. In a 4.2 it will never pause, so this one will steam, pause, pause. A 4.2 will just so it's going to get to a higher temperature quicker, but ultimately they'll still take you to the same temperature. Okay, so we can. This is really clever, and I don't know of another unit on the market that's even been conceived with so many ideas. We have a sliding door between the shower, steam room, and the sauna. So we can have a sauna while we've got the steam room on, waiting for us to have a steam, so we can sit in the sauna, have a quick sauna, and then jump into the steam. But rather than walking around, all we do is walk through it. Happy days. Both of these will work with one another. So it's possible 2 people can steam in here, 2 people can sauna. 1 person can sauna, 1 person can steam, and then you can swap out. Both will work simultaneously at the same time. All of this is Canadian hemlock, so none of this is treated. It's designed to be in a sauna. It will never rot, it will never crack, it doesn't need any maintenance. It's well, you can feel it. It's absolutely, it's a lovely wood, right?
Yeah.
And you can smell it as well. So we have, with regards to the sauna, we now have 2 options. Either we have our traditional ladle, and we're going to use the ladle with water and put it on the hot coals on the heater, or we also do exactly the same unit as an infrared. So the infrared heater will heat quicker because obviously it's almost instant. 2 different things. This one here has the ceremony of the traditional sauna. Infrared, less ceremony, easy to use. Two different applications, but it's going to give you the same. Yeah, the effects are going to be the same. There are pros for infrared with other health benefits with certain cells in the body that they can react positively to infrared rays at a certain frequency, and the frequency is very important. But obviously that's something for maybe you to research further, and it's not, you know, what we're actively going to promote the unit as being a health benefit, you know, to those certain cells, but on good grounds. We have a light here. We also have a roof ventilation system. So this is just to let air into the cubicle because it's a very dry heat. And what we're actually doing is obviously burning the oxygen in the room and the air in the room. So we want to actually have some fresh air coming in. We can also control the temperature within the cubicle by doing this. There's no steam in here, so it is just heat that we're allowing to escape. We have a traditional thermometer, and we have a traditional timer. We have a 2-person bench seat that's removable. It's not fixed down in any way, so we can take it out if we wanted to. We have the protection here from the heater in this instant. Now the other thing that's good with the infrared is all in this wall here, and it's completely flush, and you lose the heater. So you also gain cubicle space. Yeah. So as we've seen, and I explained before, this cubicle can be any size you want. We've made one of these units 6 meters by 5 meters in a commercial gym. So custom made bench seats on 2 tiers. Same thing with the steam room, custom made bench seats on 2 tiers. You're literally free to do whatever you want with the unit. You can have the height made to measure to whichever height you want, the width, the depth. You can change the seating. We can put bench seats in here instead of stools. So we can change the glass colour. You have lots of options. Like I said, we manufacture and we tailor to your requirements, probably unlike anything else you've experienced on the market. It's going to come with a lead time. Our lead time for manufacture is normally 10 to 12 weeks, but it's going to be made for you exactly how you want it, and when it comes, it is definitely worth the wait to get what you want. Just having a look at the way the doors work. You have magnetic seals in here, so it's a nice easy operation. Now what we've also got to look at is that the unit itself is completely modular. It's freestanding, it's an appliance. So it's not fixed in at all. Even if we wanted to move house, we could take it with us. After all, it seems odd that we take with us something like a dishwasher that's completely neutral to being personal to our hygiene, etc., whereas the shower we leave for somebody else to use, which somehow doesn't seem right. This is no longer a fixture and fitting within the house. If we're clever and we do things properly, we should completely tile the floor area, completely tile the walls. If we're not tiling, we should completely finish the walls with what's going around the whole room. So it could be plastered, it could be tiled, the floor, however we're finishing the floor. But the important thing is to go all the way under the unit, all the way around the back of the unit, and then this just goes in as an appliance. If we then want to take it with us when we move, because it's not a fixture and fitting in the property, we can. And then the people that buy the property, the first thing they're going to want to do is to replace the shower with their own personal shower. They might have brought one with them, or they might want to buy a new one. It just removes that element of somebody else's shower. So everything that we do, not just this unit, is modular. The furniture is modular. It's plug and play. The unit is plug and play. It's an appliance. Even the toilets are appliances. They can just be removed and another one can be fitted. Seems very odd, right? That what we actually inherit from somebody else are the things that are potentially the most unhygienic in the house. Someone else's toilet. Odd, right?
It's good,
Yeah, it's good. So, just looking now at the way the unit works, as we can see with the main frame, the quality of the glass, the anodized aluminium, the tray itself is actually 12mm thick fiberglass. The fiberglass is then covered in a gel coat. So this technology and process of manufacture is no different to what you'd find in a £1 million yacht. It's unlike an acrylic, where an acrylic can haze, discolour or crack. So you remember baths and they'd go slight tinge of yellow as time went on. This will always stay looking Arctic white, as you can see now. It's sitting on a stainless steel subframe with an array of feet underneath the tray. So we can adjust the tray to take it the level from our floor. It also means plumbing in our waste is very easy because we've got free access all the way underneath. But the most important thing is you'll see that the frame of the shower is actually sitting inside the lip of the tray, because the tray comes up higher. The idea of this is that it creates a completely watertight environment, because even if for any reason this gasket under here, it's a silicone gasket going 360 degrees under the aluminium extrusion, sitting on here, was compromised in any way, and water seeped through here, it's got nowhere to go. It can only go back. It's impossible that it can then come up over the edge. Now, unlike putting in a traditional shower, which is when I explain this to you, you'll see how illogical it is. On suspended floors, so wooden floor, a wooden floor continually moves. It will expand and contract, expand and contract. When you put weight on it, it will give, because it's designed to. Yeah, continually. When we look at the wall, does the wall move?
No.
Not at all, right?
Yeah,
It's completely right. So what we have is our suspended floor and our wall. The suspended floor is continually moving. We put our tray on our suspended floor. We tile the wall area. What's going to happen? At some point, this joint here will become compromised, and how many times you've run the silicone gun across it again, run the silicone gun across it again, but you're never sure, you don't know what's happening, because it's just seeping into the plaster, it's seeping into the joists. The joists are continually damp, and they'll be fine. They could be damp for 10 years, but after 10 years they'll rot, you'll suddenly feel a bit of give, and the whole lot has to be ripped out. All your floor joists have to be replaced. Why? It's completely unnecessary. With this, we know what's going on all the time. If there's a drip, if there's a leak, we can see it instantly. So if we have an unvented system, which is our traditional water tank that might be on the first floor up in the loft, it might be an immersion tank that's heating the water, but it's a vented system. In other words, that tank's not pressurized, it's relying on gravity. Now, this type of system is going to give us a very low pressure, but we're actually in the best situation with regards to being able to do something about it. We can pressurize the system by putting on an external pump. Unlike a combination boiler, we're stuck with the pressure and the output of the combination boiler. A pump cannot be put onto the system with a combination boiler, because we risk back pressure going back to the boiler and potentially blowing up the boiler. It's illegal, so we can't do that. If we've got a pressurized tank creating its own pressure, then normally it's going to be 2, 3, 4 bar, because we're working off either an internal pump within the tank or cold mains pressure going into it off of the cold main coming into your house. So if we're going to add a pump, and this is something we need to be aware of, and plumbers can get this wrong quite often, is that if the tank is just above us in the loft, our head pressure between the tank and this top drencher, if it's less than half a metre or a metre, which 9 times out of 10 it's going to be, we're going to be in what's called a negative head situation, which will require a negative head pump. If you don't have a negative head pump, you can fit the pump, but it'll intermittently work. It can't detect the drop in the water pressure, so the pump doesn't know when to start. So if we're going to go for a pump system, Salamander for example is a very good manufacturer of pumps. We're going to go for a twin propeller, which means we're going to pump the cold and the hot evenly. My recommendation would be to go for a 3-bar pump. A silent pump, think about where you're going to locate it, but it's very easy to implement it into your water system, and then you've got a fantastic shower. So the answer to your question, if you're asking it, what type of, will my hot water system work with this cubicle or any of the cubicles that we do? The answer to your question is yes. There is no restricting factor. You could even put this in the garage with an inline water heater to heat the hot water and then have your cold feed. So you can literally have one cold feed going into the garage, tee it off, inline water heater, and then your cold water being teed off. We can locate this anywhere we want in the property. It could be in a flat, in a house, in a swimming pool area, in a gym area. It can be in a commercial area because of the quality of the unit. Now everything that we discussed with this control panel, and the reason that you're seeing this video on all of the units within this range, the New York range, is simply because it's the same. Even though that we have the sauna and we have the steam room here, it's still all derived from exactly the same materials, the same technology, the same features, the same functions. So I hope this video has given you a better idea about the quality of the unit, what you're actually getting for your money. You can look at other manufacturers in the world today and some of the more famous brands that you would have heard of before, such as Jacuzzi. It's probably a good example because we all know the cost of Jacuzzi historically. If this unit or any of the other units you see in this particular range are back to back with a Jacuzzi, this is a better quality product. It has better quality materials, more research and development that's gone into it, and a better design in the way that everything fits together in a modular fashion, and how interactive and interchangeable the components are within it. Is it the same price? No. It's a third, if not a quarter, of what you would expect to pay for any of the leading brand names that you see on the market today. Back to back, any engineer, if you know what you're talking about, come and have a look at the quality of this unit, do a comparison, material comparison, glass comparison, manufacturing comparison, the way the components fit together comparison. No silicone in these joints here. Teak, Canadian, this is Burmese teak, this is Canadian hemlock. You can't buy better. Thank you.